Guys, things are getting serious with Kaspa. So hello and welcome everybody to crypto space, and now we are going to check what is going on with Kaspa. So first things first, I was wrong yesterday. I was expecting Kaspa to go actually sideways, but obviously there are so many bullish catalysts in a crypto market and in general for Kaspa that price couldn't stagnate anymore. So first things first, we are finally proper out of this downtrend, so that is a great news. Let me actually delete this trend line, and now we have actually saw a daily high of 12.5 cents, let's say. However, we are being pushed back now to 11 cents area to actually 12 cents. However, one key to notice is that on a 4-hourly time frame, we are actually holding that support quite nicely, and things are still looking bullish. And of course, we could see some sideways price action. And if we are going to look at the daily time frame, that looks like Kaspa has a little bit of more to go if we are going to look at stochastic RSI. And now if I'm going to zoom this thing out, guys, let's have a look on a weekly. So as you guys can see on a weekly, this bullish cross actually took place. Let me zoom it in a little bit so we can actually see it better. Okay, there you go. As you guys can see, we have this bullish cross on stochastic RSI, so that I believe is the beginning of the pump for a Kaspa. Let me actually get rid of this thing over here that isn't relevant anymore. And now let's have a look at the rainbow chart. So as you guys can see, we got perfectly supported by the lower band of this rainbow chart, and now that looks like the start of the parabola. So we are going to come back to the chart, and of course I'm going to show you different charts as well, but let's cover a little bit of news to kind of understand of what is going on.
They are against it. The Biden doesn't even know what it is. If you ask Biden, sir, are you for or against crypto? What's that? Get me off the stage. He's saying, get me off the stage. Now, he has no idea, but look, Gensler is very much against it. The Democrats are very much against it. And I say this, a lot of people are very much for it, probably a lot of the people in this group. And I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it. And if you like crypto in any form, and it comes in a lot of different forms, if you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump.
So if you like crypto, you basically know what to do if you are in US. But now let's move on, guys, because now on the top of that, EU Securities Authority is exploring adding Bitcoin and crypto exposure to the 12 trillion euro investment market. EU is gearing up. Guys, things are getting more and more serious. And also, is China warning up to Bitcoin ETFs? BTC investors reply sparks blah blah blah. So the trade agreements between China and Hong Kong could allow mainland investors to access spot BTC ETFs in Hong Kong. Guys, so I believe that is big because, Hong Kong is obviously Hong Kong little island. However, where the big money is, that is going to pass. At the moment, they are just speculations. But if that is going to pass, we do have bright future. And of course, that also is going to impact Kaspa. That's why I'm covering these BTC news, because that is important. But on the top of that, maybe not such a big news, but South Korean convenience store sells Bitcoin themed meal boxes. And why? A convenience store blah 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 that is basically organized by exchange BitHub, where customers can win small amounts of Bitcoin with their purchases. I believe that's catered towards advertising crypto adoption in Korea, and that is of course another step towards advertising and adoption in Korea. But now, guys, very important thing about Kasplex, because we do have our roadmap now. If we are going to look at May, we are closing beta hopefully this month. Then we are going to have a publishing of white paper, Kasplex community, open source indexer, and now in June, guys, this is big, KRC 721 protocol by KRC20, KRC 721 with Kaspa and other proposals. And guys, who knows what these other proposals are going to be, but that looks very bullish for Kaspa. If that is going to be implemented as soon as June, I believe that these meme coins being built on Kaspa could probably be trading by the end of this year, or perhaps even earlier. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but now let's check some news if it comes to ETF inflows. That is also important. As of yesterday, 8th of May, we had 11.5 million USD of inflows. We don't really have that much of inflows, but it's still better than obviously outflows, right? But now let's have a look at Hong Kong ETFs, because now we can actually check it on the same website too. So as of yesterday, 4.4 million of inflows, so that is good. And so far total flow is 31.6 million USD. So guys, let's come back to Kaspa. So now where do I expect actually this next run for Kaspa? That is a good question. It's too early to say, to being honest, but this next move could potentially push us in the areas of let's say 30 cents, perhaps even more. So guys, things are really going in the right direction. I'm very happy to bring you these news. I believe that these are good news. But now let's have a look at a couple of charts for BTC, and later we are going to cover macro chart for altcoins too. So shout out to Titan of Crypto, Bitcoin to 75,000 if this pattern plays out. As I told you yesterday, 61,500 USD was the level to monitor, as it is where many will be panic selling. Meanwhile, an inverse head and shoulders pattern it could be playing out. The worst case scenario will be BTC to drop to the bottom line of the descending broadening wedge. So guys, let's quickly have a look for a BTC, right? Because that targets, let's say, of, let me actually switch it to 4 hourly and zoom it in quickly. Okay, so technically we could revisit lower levels, let's say quick dip to, let's say, 59, because we have lost this level of support, right, for BTC. But I do believe that this is shakeout before the proper pump. Of course, I could be wrong, but you know, based on everything that we are seeing now, I believe that it's just about time. But anyways, let's come back here. The target will be 75k, and of course that is going to help Kaspa significantly. And now Bitcoin daily price momentum oscillator PMO is nearly signaling a bullish cross. PMO is one of the most reliable momentum indicators. Bullish cross comes up when BTC reaches the end of pullback. So as you guys can see, we are going to experience that bullish cross on that PMO indicator as well, and you know, things are pointing out to actually BTC experiencing a next leg up, hopefully. And now shout out to the Scalping Pro. So Bitcoin, a simple strategy: buy Bitcoins 500 days before the halvening, and number 2, hold, do nothing, sell 500 days after halvening and repeat. Well, only because that target did play out so far doesn't necessarily mean that it will. However, that obviously is indicating of how much time we have in this cycle. And now if we are going to look at this monthly chart, guys, according to trader tarring rate, we could expect 300% for a BTC in this cycle. So guys, that is big. And now let's finally have a look at altcoins. So that is total market cap, that is excluding BTC on a 2-weekly chart, which means that it's including Ethereum as well. So I'm strongly convinced that we will see an alt season. What we've seen so far was just a pre-pump. Just take a look at the structure from 2018 and 2021. Falling wedge, backtest, RSI, everything looks similar. Are we just a few weeks away from the start of a parabolic curve? Guys, let's have a look, you know, in the previous cycle. That was considered a pre-pump, let's say, and we had a proper retest of this, you know, major zone as a support, and after that we had parabola. However, if we are going to look at this scenario of this current bull cycle, we can clearly see that this is exactly same scenario actually. You know, so we are retesting that zone that leads us back to the previous cycle as a support, and could we expect that bounce towards the upside in the coming weeks? And even if we are going to look at RSI, we can clearly see that, you know, RSI is pretty much at the same levels as it was back then, if we are going to compare that. So we could see definitely another leg up towards the upside. And now, you know, from the perspective of pumps, let's have a look. 2012, 2016, 2020, and now we still haven't seen like a proper pump for BTC. So guys, things are actually, you know, going in a good direction. And now I would like to show you that macro chart actually updates you as well. So let me switch it to the weekly, and as you guys can see, we are still below that major level of resistance. You know, we got rejected, obviously that came with that previous pullback, but once we are going to close above that and then above the previous all-time highs, imagine at what price Kaspa is going to be at that time. And also, you know, stochastic RSI in here looks like is going to experience that bullish cross very soon. And by the way, guys, this chart is excluding top 10, which means that pretty much smaller market caps. So that is the best macro chart, I believe, to determine of where we are in the cycle for a Kaspa. So we still have a lot of time to grow. Guys, that's it, what I've got for you today. I hope that you have guys enjoyed it, and I wish you having a great day. Peace and love, crypto.